Morning, Jean. Hope this isn't too inconvenient for you.
No, not at all. Had a call up this way. Got delayed.
You don't have to apologise for being busy, love.
Well, so I'm here. Now what?
I suppose it's a case of me looking for a favour more than anything. Does the name Metcalf mean anything to you? Malcolm Bernard Metcalf?
Vaguely. Must be a villain of some sort.
Receiver. Not that I've ever been able to prove it, mind you, but that's what he is. Been after him going on for 4 years now. I wouldn't like to count the number of times that I thought that I got him. He's had the laugh on me for 4 years, Jean. 4 years.
Hang on. I thought I'd heard you'd nicked him.
Not for receiving.
That's attempted murder 3 weeks back. It's the same fella.
How much have you heard?
Not a lot. Tried to run someone down, didn't he?
A woman called Carole Lund, divorcee. Up to 3 weeks ago, she was Metcalf's lady friend. Then 3 weeks ago, she got off a bus about 11 o'clock at night, walked onto her house and found him waiting for her. He started his car and drove straight at her. She ended up halfway through a neighbour's hedge.
What brought that on?
Jealousy. She was ditching him for another bloke.
Overreacting a bit, wouldn't you say, for a man like Metcalf?
Just goes to show you the effect that some women can have on a man, doesn't it?
Says more about the male ego to me.
Aye, well, we're not quarrel about it. To tell you the truth, I couldn't care less. The only thing that matters to me is that I've got Metcalf on a plate. I can't tell you how sweet that is.
You were saying something about a favour?
Well, Metcalf is denying that it was him. He's going to plead not guilty and make me prove it.
Can you?
Providing Carole Lund identifies him in court. She's my only witness.
You mean it's just her word?
No, I didn't say that. I've got a damn strong case. The only trouble is, without her evidence that he was actually driving the car, it's all circumstantial.
She's not likely to go bad on you, is she?
Well, she's being got at. Metcalf's got some heavy friends. I'm not sure how safe she is. I'm not sure how long she can hold out against the threats.
Any friends or relations you can send her to stay with?
Well, they're all that local, she'd be no better off. The upshot is, I'm looking for somewhere to house her, somewhere quiet where she isn't known, and where they're not likely to find her.
In other words, somewhere rather like Hartley.
I know it's a lot to ask. That's what I'm doing, asking. How do you feel about it?
How long can you give me to get things sorted? And tell David he's improving. Doesn't read like he's trying to win the Nobel Prize for Literature quite as much as it did.
Right, ma'am.
Joseph, if you were looking to rent somewhere, say like a small flat, and you wanted a landlord who you could trust to be a bit discreet, who would you go to?
In Hartley? What's his name? Walter Hines. I'd try him.
He's got nothing going.
I think Fred Hudson's still got that flat empty over his shop.
Well, that should be. Corner of Berry Street. Is it furnished?
Well, I'm not sure. I could find out.
No, don't bother. I'll do it myself if I decide it's worth it. Thanks, though.
Any time, ma'am.
Should have asked her.
Wouldn't like to.
Why not?
Could be personal.
What, you mean? You don't think her and Tom's, do you?
Inspector Darblay. I'm Sue Collier, Detective Sergeant.
Sue?
Mrs. Lund, ma'am.
How do you do, Mrs. Lund? Jean Darblay.
Yeah, I know, she just said. Pleased to meet you.
I'm sorry it had to be in these circumstances, but we'll try and make you as comfortable as we can. Did you bring a case? I hope you're not allergic to the smell of fish and chips.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it'll bring back a few memories, will that?
Coming up, Sue.
Best not if you don't need me, Mum. I'm supposed to get straight back. Well, I'll say goodbye then, Mrs. Lund. Be seeing you, I expect. Yeah. Thanks a lot, love. Ta-ra.
Show you up then, shall I? Do you know Hartley at all?
No, not really. I mean, it's not really my kind of place, is it?
That's probably why Mr. Logan thought you'd be best off to come here, on the steps.
God almighty.
It's the best we could do at the short notice, I'm afraid. Still, it could be worse.
Not much. It's like the room my grandma were laid out in, is this?
It's just not been lived in for a while, that's really all it is. Shall I show you the rest?
There's no worry, love. There's your bathroom and bedroom. There's a kitchen just in here.
Kitchen's a bit small.
It's not like I'm going to be entertaining much, is it? How long am I going to be stuck here for?
It's up to you, Mr. Logan. Till the committal, certainly.
It could be months, could that?
Better than having Metcalfe's friends bothering you, though, wouldn't you say?
I did. I went round there last night for some chips.
And?
There was a light on, and her car was parked right outside.
Whose car's that, Sarge?
Here. What they call you then? Big ears?
Me, Sarge.
On your bike, sonny.
Anyway, Fred Hudson's chips aren't as good as them for the Chinese takeaway.
And pedal it.
Sarge.
So anyway, what'd you do then? Get a ladder up to the window?
While I was getting my chips, I said, I see you've let your flat then, Fred. He looked at me a bit funny, didn't say a word.
So what does that prove?
Morning, George.
Boy, sir.
Joe. Inspector in, is she?
In her office, sir.
All right. Cheers.
No, I reckon.
No.
I reckon she's either stuck with Tom, or she's on the side with someone.
None of our business, is it?
Useful to know, though.
Never reckon you for being so nosy, Joe.
It's never a bad thing to have a black on the boss.
How did she seem to you?
Oh, depressed. It'll take her a while, it's bound to. Just a pity she has to be on her own all the time.
I'm calling around each morning and evening.
You can't do more, Jean. You've got a section to run. Well, she'll just have to get used to it, that's all. It's a pity there's no phone.
On the other hand, if there was one, she might use it.
What? Ring someone and tell them she's being housed in this black hole called Hartley.
You never know. It's amazing how things get round.
Well, that's a fair point.
Any sign Metcalfe's friends have missed her yet?
No, not really. It's only a matter of time, though. Hey, brought these for you. Now then, that one is Thomas Briggs. Convictions for wounding with intent, demanding with menaces. That one's Stuart Lawson, GBH. This last one is Alan Taylor, one conviction for handling. Now, they're the likeliest. Now, if any of those turn up here, you can reckon that you've got bother. So, any problems?
I'll shout if I need to.
Right. Does anybody else know that she's here?
Not yet.
Maybe best keep it that way.
Thanks for dropping these in.
Well, let's hope it wasn't necessary.
A bit early, aren't you, Joseph?
I'm not stopping, ma'am.
Oh, while you're both there, you can have a look at these. I want a particular careful watch kept for any of these three turning up on our ground. If any of them are spotted, I'd appreciate knowing about it pretty smartish, all right?
What's the interest, Mum?
They work from the city, and Mr. Logan thinks they might be planning to do one on us.
Right, we'll show 'em at parade.
Mr. Darblay keeping well, is he, ma'am?
Fine, thanks.
Just not seen him for some time, so I thought I'd pass my regards on.
Thanks, Joseph.
You're pushing your luck, Joe.
How about some patty sandwiches? Salmon. Cheese and pickle. Must be something you can fancy. Look, I've told you I'm not hungry. What did you have for your dinner? Did you not have any dinner? Oh, I couldn't be bothered. The smell of them chips, it's enough to put your feet in for life. Anyway, after my husband left me, that's all I lived on. First 6 months, anyway. It was all I could afford. Do you know I haven't been able to look one in the eye ever since? How long ago was that? Do you mind?
10 years, love. Mind you, I've made up for it since. I've had a far better time than he ever gave me.
How'd you meet Metcalf?
Oh, it was a friend that introduced us. Didn't know what I was letting myself in for that time, did I? It can happen. That night's gonna stay with me for the rest of me natural, I can tell you that.
What, when you had a go at you?
Yeah. I was crossing the road, and I heard this car start up. Well, I looked round, and there it was coming right at me.
Oof. What did you do?
Well, I ran. That's all I could do.
Yes, well, try not to lose any more sleep over it. You're safe enough here.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, getting chased by a car's nothing compared to what his mates said they'd do to me, you know. And they would and all.
You know them, do you?
Sort of. Let's put it this way, I've seen them around. They're bloody animals.
Did it never bother you before, the sort of friends he had?
Why do you think I was finishing with him?
I see.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of things, really, but that was definitely one of them. You know, like realising he must be bent. I mean, mates like that, he had to be.
Well, they'll not find you here.
Oh, they better not. My God, love, they better not.
Right, off!
$7823 to Hartley. $7823 to Hartley.
Tell us someone's on the way. Go ahead, 7823.
I think I've just seen one of those fellas, Sarge.
One of which fellas?
One of the villains Inspector Darblay wanted us to look out for. He's with a mate.
Where?
Waste ground off Bankside Road.
You sure it's them?
Well, I'm pretty sure one of them is. Lawson, I think his name is.
What are they doing?
They've just got into a car, Sarge. They're just sitting in it. It's a metallic blue Austin Princess. Registration Juliet Vector Hotel 523 Sierra.
Right, look, if they start to move, try and stick with them without making it too obvious if you can. I'll come back to you.
I'm not exactly invisible, Sarge.
Well, try to be.
It was bailed to appear last Thursday. That's right. Well, the last time it happened, they picked him up in Blackpool. I doubt it, don't you? Come in. That's what I thought. Just for what it's worth. Yes, if anything does, all right. Bye.
It's Gallagher, Mum. He's just reported sighting Stuart Lawson down Bankside Road.
What doing?
Sitting in a car with a mate.
Moving?
Just sitting.
Bankside Road? What are they doing there? Check out the car they're in, then get on to Gallagher and tell him that if they start moving, and if it looks like they're heading for Berry Street, we want to know fast.
Yes, Mum. Berry Street, Mum.
Unlikely as it may seem, that is what I said.
Right, well.
Mr. Hudson. Inspector Darblay here, Mr. Hudson. I'm sorry to be a nuisance, but I wonder if I could ask you to pop upstairs to Mrs. Lund. She what? She didn't say where she was going, I suppose. No, it's okay, thank you. Sorry to have troubled you.
Oh, car's registered to a William Arthur Paget. City address, no record. Not been reported stolen.
Known associate of Metcalfe or Lawson?
Not according to the computer.
7823 to Hartley.
Hartley, yes, 7823.
We're moving, Sarge.
Inspector Darblay here, which direction?
Looks like they're heading for the centre, Mum.
Try to stay with them, David, only not too close. I'd rather they didn't know what we were at.
Well, it's like I told Sergeant Parrish, Mum. This car doesn't exactly melt into the background.
Let them lose you then if you have to. I'm going up to Berry Street.
Right, Mum.
Keep me posted and tell David that's where I am, so that if it looks like they're definitely heading for there, he can leave them to me.
Hartley to 7823. Say again, 7823.
Stopping, I think.
Where?
They are. They've stopped Bellin car park.
Have they spotted you?
I don't think so. Now they're going in, Sarge.
Inspector Darblay, what's the latest, Sergeant Parrish? Can you update me?
Bellin, Mom.
Looks like they've gone in for a drink.
Let me know the minute they start moving again, will you?
Will do.
Oh, hello, love. I've been waiting for you.
Have you?
Who's this?
Oh, it's, look, I only nipped out for a quick drink. He was just giving me a lift down, that's all.
That was kind of you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, love.
Mister.
Fenton. Fred.
Where do you live, Mr. Fenton?
Ryborn.
Whereabouts?
Barker House Road, number 12.
Well, I hope the lift didn't cost you too much in drinks. Like another ride?
Where to?
The station. We have reason to believe that two of Metcalfe's friends are in town looking for you. After what I've just seen, I think I'd like to have you and keep my eye on you.
All he was doing was giving me a lift.
That's not what he thought.
Well, can't help what he thought.
It doesn't alter the basic fact there is no point in you being here if you're going to tell all the work and his wife where you're living. Sergeant Parrish, Mrs. Lund. Any word from David?
No, not yet.
Anyone in the interview room?
No, Mom.
Mrs. Lund can sit in there then. Would like to follow me?
Oh, dearie me. How long are you going to keep me here?
You're the one who wanted protection, love. This is it.
Thanks a lot.
Does it mean nothing to you that Stuart Lawson, Metcalfe's bosom pal, is here, now, in Hartley and looking for you? You amaze me.
Look, love, don't get all sniffy with me. I mean, you're doing me no favours, you know.
Oh, my mistake. It seemed to me that we were keeping you from having your arms and legs broken and maybe acid in your eyes.
Just heard from Gallagher. They're on the move again.
Where?
Heading for Manchester, Mom.
I beg your pardon?
They came out of the pub and got into the car and drove straight out of Hartley in the direction of Manchester.
Manchester. Tell David I'd like to see him as soon as he gets back, please.
Wondered if you might like a cup of tea, Mrs. Lund.
Oh, if that's the best you can do.
Coming up.
Well, is that the fella you were following?
Well, it's a bit difficult to be sure now.
In other words, you don't think it was?
I think that possibly it's open to some doubt, Mum.
Sometimes I think you ought to have been a lawyer, David. You have that certain way with words. Well, I suppose it proves you were keeping your eyes open. Though it makes me wonder whether you might not need glasses. Go on with you.
Mum.
Oh, Only let's not have too many false alarms, eh? It can get a bit expensive on petrol, to say nothing of my nerves.
Mum?
That's funny. I never heard her scream.
Nothing but compliments, Sarge. Told me she thought I'd make a very good lawyer.
Did she? Of course, I don't want to spoil the nice rosy glow you must be feeling, but there's something perhaps I ought to tell you, Davy. I happen to know that, in the inspector's opinion, the legal profession comes second only to the insurance business in terms of legalized villainy.
I was being stupid, I know. I was a bit. You can understand it, though, can't you? I mean, look at it. How would you like to be cooped up in here 24 hours a day?
Don't think I don't sympathise, love, but it's a situation we're all stuck with. And kicking against it isn't going to help anyone.
It just all seems so unreal.
Well, does
Everything. Being here, you telling me they're here looking. I just can't seem to believe it's really happening.
seemed real enough to you before? Actually, we were wrong. It wasn't who we thought.
You mean it wasn't Lawson?
Oh, doesn't alter anything I've been saying. The point is, it could have been. Do you see?
But don't worry. I'll stay put from now on. I'll be a good girl. I mean, I'm not trying to make your job difficult. It's not that. It's just that I'm beginning to wish I'd never got involved in the first place. I'm not kidding.
Didn't have much choice about it, though, did you? When you can't just ignore somebody actually deliberately trying to run you over. What's funny about it?
Nothing.
I wouldn't have thought so. And whenever this place starts to get on top of you, if I were you, I'd remember the expression on Metcalfe's face as he was trying to kill you. That should put it all into some kind of perspective.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Yeah, thanks, love. Yeah, that's what I'll do. This helps as well.
Busy day.
At its moment, Si. Here. You know this mystery fella Mrs. Darby's been having it on the side with? Met him today. Late 30s, blonde. Good figure, if you like 'em top-heavy. Nice legs. Bit slap-happy with the makeup, but that's about the only minus. Name's Carole Lund. Mrs. Divorced, though, so it's all right. I'd be round Fred Hudson's chippy regular if I was you, Joe. Seems more your type than hers.
Reported behaving suspiciously back of Newby Motors. Informant to Mr. Clegg, 17 Prentice Street.
On my way, Sarge. Out.
Hello, ma'am. You're here late.
Hypothetical situation, Joseph. It's 11 o'clock at night and you're crossing a road. You hear a car start up, so you look round and you realise that it's coming straight for you, deliberately, trying to run you down. So you run, and you manage to get out of the way, but only by throwing yourself halfway through a hedge. Now, in that situation, what chance do you reckon you'd have to recognise the driver of the car?
Mrs. Lund, are we talking about, ma'am?
Common knowledge, is it?
I wouldn't say so, no.
I hope not. That's a name not to be uttered outside these four walls, Joseph.
Understood, ma'am.
She's witness in a case of attempted murder and likely to be subject to interference.
Thought it must be something like that. Soon as you started asking about flats and the like.
Did you?
11 o'clock at night, did you say? Depend a bit on how good the street lighting was, wouldn't it?
Hmm. Be the first thing Mr. Logan would check that, though, wouldn't it? It's just that there's something... It's like she keeps getting out of focus, do you know what I mean?
Anything I can do, ma'am?
Not really, Tom. See you tomorrow.
Good night, ma'am.
It's 10 days. You'd have thought she got used to being here in that time.
Gets worse, if anything.
How?
Drinking, complaining, making demands. I can understand it getting on top of her, stuck there on her own all the time. But what I don't understand is why she doesn't seem prepared to make the least little effort to come to terms with the situation. She's kicking against it all the time. Doesn't make sense. And if she's going to keep this up from now until the trial, at this rate, someone's not going to make it.
Is she getting too much for you? Is that what you're saying? Come on, Jean, love, be honest. You want shot of her, right?
Where else could she go?
I'll find somewhere.
It's just transferring the problem, is that? Tell you the thing that bothers me most about her. It's nothing to do with the tantrums. I can put up with those, but the more I see of her, the more I wonder how reliable she is as a witness.
Why?
Just a feeling. I don't know. Just a nagging feeling.
But you must have something specific.
Well, for instance, how could she see who was driving if it was dark?
Well, it's a well-lit street. And he did have 2 goes at her, you know. When he was reversing after the first try, I wasn't much further away from her than I am from you now. Oh, come on, Jean. You've known me long enough.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
It's
to...
a solid case. I'm not going into that court half-cocked, you know.
No.
I can prove that Metcalf and his car were there. I can prove that he went up over that pavement and hit the gate post. Now, I've even got one of her neighbours who heard it happening and heard Carole Lund shouting, "You bastard, Metcalf." I've got the dress she was wearing that got ripped and left bits of itself stuck all over the hedge. I've got the doctor's report showing the cuts and scratches that she ended up with. So, you see, I do know how to put a good case together.
I think she's got me so confused. It's my own judgment I should be questioning. I'm sorry.
Do you want shot of her?
Call it a penance. We'll keep her. I didn't know what you liked, so I thought the best thing was to bring a selection. There's Harold Robbins, Barbara Cartland, Alistair MacLean. Do you know any of them?
I don't read books. Oh, except when I was in hospital once. Yeah, I had to go at one then. I can't remember what it was about, though.
Similar sort of situation, in a way. Time to kill. Anyway, I thought they might help.
I'd rather be in hospital any day. At least there you got folk to talk to.
How about magazines?
It's a never-ending fag rest, is this? Do you know, I used to look forward to having a cuppa and a fag. It's amazing how things can fall on you.
There's people a lot worse off than you know. There's some invalids never even get out of the same room.
Yeah, my heart bleeds. Well, if it gets that bad, the only thing to do is finish it. I would. If I'd only known. I mean, nobody told me it was going to be like this. I feel like I'm a prisoner. It's like I've done something wrong. Solitary confinement. I'm not right good on my own. I never have been. Some people aren't. I can't help it.
I could lend you a book about a woman who survived 254 days solitary confinement in South Africa, if you like. Might pick up a few tips.
You don't like me much, do you?
I just don't understand why you're not prepared even to try and make it easier for yourself.
It's easy to say.
Nobody's forcing you to stay here. If you're willing to take a chance out there, then go back home. Why don't you? Save us all a load of bother.
Ha ha.
At least you know it's not forever.
Look, tar for the books. The thought's appreciated. Hey, do you fancy a couple while you're here?
Oh, I'm afraid I haven't really got the time. I left my husband waiting for me.
Oh, you're going out, are you? Yeah, well, I thought so. I mean, it's a nice dress.
Thanks. It's just some friends of ours, small anniversary
Yeah, well,
party.
don't let me keep you then. I hope you have a nice time. I'll be thinking of you.
You won't be lonely tonight. Gallagher's bringing you in some company.
As long as it's not the singing kind. How else?
If you need to reach Wonder Woman, she'll be on this number till about midnight, and after that she'll be back home again.
Hartley Police. No, madam, we've had no report of a power cut. Have you checked your fuses? How do you get on with next door? Is he all right? Well, why don't you pop round to get him to do it for you? Yes, you
Who's this thing? She's plastered, Sarge. I found a one in the middle of the road outside the Bell trying to flag down passing cars.
Oh, no, not here again.
What's your name then, love?
Hey, where's your toilet? I'm bursting.
Yeah, just give us your name first, eh?
You lot should damn well know it by now.
Have you looked in the bag?
No, Sarge, that's the nearest I've got to. She keeps hitting me with it.
This is Lund, isn't it?
Oh, do I know you?
We had a little chat last time you were in.
Look, love, just tell me where your toilet is, will you?
Would you like to show Mrs. Lund the way, David?
Sarge, this way, Mum.
Stop handling me, will you?
The Mrs. Lund? Good evening. This is Sergeant Beck at Hartley Police Station. I believe you've got Inspector Darblay there with you.
Drunk and disorderly, abusive and threatening behaviour, assaulting a police officer with an offensive weapon, namely that handbag.
Another lecture.
I give up. There's nothing I've said to you sunk in. It can't have done.
Give it a rest, will ya? It's going around bad enough as it is.
What did you think you were doing? Look at you. Making a spectacle of yourself in pubs, wandering around the town, nearly getting yourself run over. What did you think you were doing?
Having a party.
Having a party?
Oh, leave me alone.
No, I want an answer.
It's all right for some, isn't it? Hey, it's all right for some. Good party, was it? Hey, have a nice time.
No, not since I've been dragged back here.
I didn't ask for it.
You didn't leave me with much choice, though, did you?
Choice? Choice? It's all right for you, isn't it? What about me? God, I wish I never got into this. I never got into it.
Into what?
Bloody charade!
What charade? You're into it, love, because some fella tried to kill you. I'll get you home. Just hang on a minute, I'll get you home. What's going on, Joseph?
Don't reckon she know what she's saying, Mum.
Sometimes when people are drunk, they're more honest than when they're not.
But to be frank, I'm not sure I follow what's bothering you.
Not sure I do much better. Why call it a charade?
I suppose it is in a way.
Joseph, every time I talk to her, I come away with the feeling that she's lying.
What about? Why don't you talk to Mr. Logan about it?
I already have. He's happy. Well, I better take her home, I suppose. Joseph, have you anything special laid on for tomorrow morning, apart from sleep? I'm going to have it out with her, and I think I'd like a witness to be present.
Oh. Oh, my head.
Sorry if we've caught you a bit early. Just wanted to make sure you were all right.
Was it that bad?
Can't you remember?
No, not much. Sit down. I'll make you some tea in a minute.
I'm wondering if there isn't something we ought to get sorted, Carole, love, in view of last night.
Oh, can't we just forget last night?
It's not just last night on its own, more what it's a symptom of.
Come again?
You seem to have a rather strange attitude to this whole business of you being here. And I just think unless we can get things straight, there's not much point in you stopping.
Look, I won't do it again, all right? This time I mean it.
Now, I don't want you to make promises you can't keep, Carole, love. And from what you were saying last night, it seems to me that what you want is out.
Hey?
And I'm beginning to think that that might be the best thing all round.
What do you mean all I want is out?
Wished I'd never got into it. Wasn't that what Mrs. Lund said, Sergeant?
Word for word, ma'am.
And there was something else, too. One other word.
Charade.
That's right. Now, I know the dictionary defines charade as a guessing game, but a lot of people think of it as meaning a pretense. So just how exactly did you mean it, love?
I was
Because
trying.
if you did mean it as a pretense, I'm forced to wonder what it is that you're pretending about.
Out!
Are you sure?
Yeah, I should be.
I'm not convinced. Are you, Sergeant?
Look, I'm telling
You see, when I think back to all the things about you that have bothered me, I realise that what they add up to is that you have been lying, Carole, love, about something. And the only thing you have to lie about is Metcalfe trying to kill you. Do you see?
Why should you care?
Because there's a man charged with attempted murder based on your evidence.
You want him sent down, don't you?
What if he didn't do it?
He's bent!
It doesn't matter. Still doesn't make what you're doing right.
Well, you talk to your Mr. Logan about it then. Yeah, you talk to him before you start coming all righteous with me.
Meaning what, exactly?
Ask him.
I'm asking you.
Look, don't be dense, love. I mean, you don't think I'm here because I want to be, do you?
You tell me.
Look, I had to do it. He gave me no option.
Do what, exactly?
Frame Metcalfe, what do you think? Well, you know how long he'd been after him. Maybe he got tired of waiting, I don't know. Look, all I know is that he had this stolen clobber. And if I didn't do what he wanted, it was going to be found somewhere in my house.
You're telling us that Mr. Logan blackmailed you into fabricating this whole story?
Oh, come on, love. You tell me what to say.
You've known Jim Logan as long as me, Joseph, probably longer. Do you honestly, I mean honestly, can you believe he's bent?
Going to have to report it now, ma'am, and there it is.
Oh, Mum, there's a message from
Oh, give
Mr.
us a minute, George, will you? She's lying, Joseph.
It makes no difference.
You know she is.
There's only one possible course now, and that's to report it.
Yes, I know you've already said so. I can take my coat off, can't I?
What's the trouble?
Don't ask.
Right, well, if it's not claimed within 3 months, you'll be notified and it'll be yours to keep. Thank you for bringing it in.
Stop.
Purse just been handed in with £12.16, still in it. Sad, really, I suppose. I'm going to be surprised when we come across an honest fella.
George, I'll take that.
Come.
That message from Mr. Darblay.
Thanks, Joseph. Tired, Joseph.
It's not doing anyone any good, you sitting here and banging your head against it, if you'll forgive me saying so, Mum.
As soon as I make a report, Jim Logan will be suspended, investigated, and possibly even charged. He's a good copper, Joseph. It's not right.
I don't see as how you've got any choice in the matter, Mum.
I don't know. I've been sitting here asking myself why. Why is she telling this story? Who'd have anything to gain? Help yourself.
Thank you. Who'd have anything to gain? Well, she's in trouble either way.
Not really. Not if she claims coercion. Another way of looking at it is to say, who'd like to see Mr. Logan in trouble?
Metcalf. A stitch, you mean? Metcalf and Carole Lund stitching up Mr. Logan?
I'm just wondering. Supposing Metcalf feels that Mr. Logan's been getting too close. So he gets our Mrs. Lund to say that he tried to kill her. Mr. Logan acts on this, and Metcalf goes to trial for attempted murder. Then, when she gets into a witness box, she's to change her story and say that Metcalf didn't try to kill her at all, but that Mr. Logan put her up to saying that he did. That she was being blackmailed by Mr. Logan to frame Metcalf.
Case against Metcalf is dismissed. Mr. Logan suspended.
And Metcalf's got him off his back, maybe for good and all.
But we forced her to jump the gun. The only thing wrong with it that I can see is if Metcalf set it all up himself, what are his mates doing putting the frighteners on Mrs. Lund?
Joseph, that's the most obvious thing of all. That's why I've been missing it. That's the point, Joseph. She's not scared. Not like she should be if someone was really threatening to do her face for her. It's all part of the con.
I'd like to know where you're taking me. I've a right to know.
You'll find out when we get there.
Oh, thanks for nothing. Look, I can still get out again, you know.
I'm taking you to meet someone who wants to see you. All I am is the taxi, love. Anyway, I thought you'd be glad of the trip.
What's his name, then, this fella?
Which one? There are several.
Oh, a right mine of information, aren't you? It's a bit close to home, this is, you know. I mean, I know people that come in here.
Don't worry.
Well, what are we supposed to be doing here? Any road?
Just waiting.
Look, it's not exactly bright in this, you know.
Don't you fancy a drink?
Not here.
This is where it's at, love. Can't change it now.
Someone wants their heads tested bringing me here, I can tell you.
No, keep on going for it. A bit further. See if we can get right down to the other end.
Oh, bloody hell.
What's the matter?
You know what you've done, don't you? Good fellas.
What about them?
They're his mates. Metcalf's mates.
You don't want to worry about that. You with me?
I'm going.
Not yet, love.
But you know what they said they'd do to me,
Just
don't
keep
you?
on going.
No! Go on. Give over, shut it, will you?
Hey, it's Carole. Keeping all right, are you, sweetheart?
What are you doing here, you stupid bitch? We're supposed to be looking for you.
You bloody dumbbells!
Now keep calm.
Oh, bloody wonderful.
Now perhaps you'll tell us just who we're supposed to be protecting you from.
I wanted him that bad, I walked right into it. I should have known it was too good to be true.
Was a clever conspiracy.
Still, I should have known. You see, that's what happens when you let someone get to you. When you let it become too personal. I've a lot to thank you for, Jean, love. But you were taking a bit of a risk.
To tell you the truth, at the end, I think I was doing it as much for myself as anything. Just wanted to know if I was right.
And what if you hadn't been?
Wouldn't have been much of a copper, would I?
Interview room, is she? All right to you, if fine.
Mind if I join you?
Sure. Well, now, Carole, love. Well.
Look, I had to do it, Mr. Logan. He said he'd write me face off if I didn't.
I can believe that. But I'd be surprised if he didn't offer to pay you a little something as well. Enough for a Christmas cruise, perhaps. Winter in the sun. Well, now, I still want Metcalf, love, and you're going to give him to me. Incitement to commit perjury. Conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. That's what I'll settle for. So what do you say?
I want protection.